All right, guys, we got an in-person interview with Tiblex.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since we talked last, but maybe you want to just catch people up on like what you're doing these days. Like it sounds like you're studying right now.
Yeah, I'm studying.
And are you still playing Kendama here and there?
Yes, I make time for Dama every day, but like sometimes it's just 5 or 10 minutes a day. But just to relax and do some tricks and maintain what I already have. Because sometimes if you don't play for a long time, you kind of forget.
Yeah.
But you can get right back into it.
Yeah.
If you play one day, let's say. But I don't know. I just enjoy it. So
You enjoyed it, like you're using it as a break right now.
Yeah,
basically.
I know.
What was that transition like? Because at one point you were like top of the world, you were playing probably multiple hours a day, you were grinding in that mindset, and then as you probably decided you wanted to become a doctor and going into school, you kind of had to decide to. Was that hard? Was that a hard transition for you?
Not in terms of my motivation to do so, but in terms of my habits.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily so. Okay, you have to choose 3 things in your life. You have to choose social life, studying, or Kendama.
Yeah.
And for the first years, of high school and I chose studying and Kendama, and I kind of left out socializing. So then later on, I reduced on Kendama and improved on studying and socializing. So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I felt I was like, in the back of the class, kind of playing Kendama all by myself.
Yeah.
And I wasn't talking to my classmates, and I was feeling left behind. Everyone was making friends, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I entered the 11th grade, and I had 2 more years, so I decided to kind of,
go out more, hang out with people, and that took away from your Kendama time.
Yeah. And later in 12th grade and now in college, there's even more studying, so I reduced.
So then the studying time took even more of your Kendama time, but you still wanted a social life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay. So it was a slow process.
Yeah, it wasn't one day Kendama and one day no Kendama.
Yeah.
So, and there is still Kendama, by the way. I mean, I play every day.
Well, I see you play, and you can tell if someone hasn't played in a few months, just the way that they play, but your Ken flips are as straight as ever, and your taps are really good.
Yeah.
So people can tell that you still play,
Yeah, but the problem is I'm playing to maintain what I already have and not to get better. Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, because I'm same as good as I was last year.
Okay.
Meanwhile, looking back in the previous years, every year I grew so much better.
Yeah, because you're learning new tricks. I think that's the one big characteristic about you as a player is that you seem to be able to do every type of trick. Would you say the same thing? Like you learned every type of trick, whether it was a cloud bounce or a stunt fast, like you were on it.
Yeah, except there's one thing, which is this, pinch multiple. No, I mean, I have in 2020, I was really good at this, but what you see now, it's completely out of this world.
Well, okay, because you could late goon, and you were really good at goons, and I remember the goon, late Ken.
And pinches, but
pinches,
not re-goons.
Okay, not the re-goons. Yeah, and then people are doing the butterfly right now.
Oh,
you never
that's
got into that. Yeah.
No.
Okay, I got you.
That's too much.
Yeah. That's really interesting, man. Well, I want to talk to you about taps. I know we talk about taps, I think, every time
but
we have a conversation.
I'm learning new things about taps even now.
Still today. Yeah. What are you learning new?
But since I've been playing some table tennis for the past year or 2.
Yeah.
I've learned that you have to keep your hand relaxed when you play table tennis, and I figured out that it's the same for taps. You don't have to grip it hard.
Hold it hard. That's my brother. So shout out to my brother. He thinks you have to grip it hard.
No, you have to grip it not necessarily too light, but a bit lighter,
Yeah.
Because when it's a light grip, the Tama, has its momentum, and you can tap, and it's much more.
Yeah. What would you say? I mean, you've hit 50 taps.
Yeah.
That's your record.
Yeah.
And, what would you say is what was the biggest challenge, the biggest jump up? Because at some point you need to, keep the Ken up, and then it kind of lowers again, maybe around 8, 10, 12, and then you have to keep it up again.
Yeah.
And then after you learn that, then I feel like it becomes much more infinite, where you get more in the zone. But was there a certain number that was the hardest to learn, that forced you to really do that, like 20 or 10 or?
Let me think. Probably 12.
12.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
But when I did my first 12 tap, I didn't know how to bring the can back up.
Yeah.
But out of all tap numbers, 12 was the hardest.
Okay. And what was that process like of learning how to bring the Ken back up as you tap?
So the process was that it was actually more of an innovation thing, because Kendamas were growing in size.
Okay.
And with bigger Kendamas, you would have a bigger base cup.
Yeah.
Which gave you bigger momentum.
Yeah.
So you can kind of force it when it's slow. You can tap harder and bring it
And then
back
bring it up again. Yeah.
So it's more a thing about Kendamas and shapes.
Yeah.
Because with a small Kendama, like from 2018, I couldn't.
Yeah. And do you think...
And now I think I can, but because I know what I already know. But back then, I couldn't have learned everything I know now on a Kendama like that.
Okay. Yeah, because it seems like bigger Kendamas are easier to tap, because people are tapping, like, not sumos, but like jumbos or something, like a bigger Ken, and it just seems like it floats better. So you're saying that when the base cup got a little bit bigger, what time frame was that? 2020?
Beginning of 2019.
Okay.
2019 mostly.
Yeah, that's when they got a little bit bigger, and then it became easier to tap. And then you're saying because of that, it was, you would do a bunch of taps, and then it was easier to get up and float again.
Yeah, but the process of going back up wasn't instant. I mean, I was focusing initially on keeping the can up as much as I could.
Yeah.
And then after I got to like 24 taps, that's what I remember. That's when I saw that I could actually bring the can back up.
Yeah.
So, but before that, I was trying to keep it at the same level.
Okay, but then once you hit the 24 taps, then you're like, oh, I can really. You got the ability of like, oh, if it's down here, I can kind of like bring it back up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A good exercise for this is to try to do taps out of a juggle. So like.
Yeah, out of juggle, because the Ken stays there and then you tap.
And
I want to ask you about who you think the best players are right
Takuya.
now. You think so, even though Ryoga won last year?
Yes, I think so.
Taki still has. He still has all the. What do you think?
Yeah, overall skill Takuya.
Yeah.
And competition again Takuya, because he showed in these years that he has the skill to win everything.
Yeah.
If sometimes we have bad luck and you don't win it.
Yeah.
But he definitely showed that he has all the tools in the world.
So did you watch KWC 2024 when it happened? Were you excited to see who was gonna win?
Yeah. I thought Takuya, but Ryoga, he won.
I mean, Takuya just missed that very last spike. If he hit the Goya's, he just missed it. That would have won. Yeah, it's crazy.
But what I appreciate about Ryoga is that he stayed calm. You saw the run.
Yeah.
And when he missed a trick, he didn't miss much.
No.
But when he missed a trick, he kind of and then he did it, and he didn't panic. He didn't try to rush things. That's my philosophy too. But Ryoga seemed to have perfected it.
Yeah. Why do you think? I mean, Taki's been playing undoubtedly more Kendama than Ryoga. Ryoga's younger, but Taki's been playing so much, and he's 5 years older than Ryoga. What do you think is special about Ryoga to be able to play at this level? And it seems like he went from not qualifying to getting like 12th and then to winning. Do you notice anything in Ryoga's play style that allowed him to progress so quickly and be the best?
So at some point, it's more about handling your emotions than having the skill.
Okay.
Because if I tell you to do a spike, you can do a spike even if you're a beginner and even if you're an advanced player. and now if your hand is shaking,
Yeah.
you cannot do the spike.
So so even if it's a lighthouse or something, you can have done lighthouses a million times, but if you aren't confident, or if you're just not, if you're nervous, then okay, you're saying that Ryoga maybe just had a good mental, even though he was young.
Yeah, I know. It's a good exercise for him to practice.
Yeah, and I think being kind of the underdog and not winning before is a lot easier.
Yeah.
I just need to hit my run. When Takia has to go,
has everything to lose.
Yeah, he has everything. He has to go after Ryoga, and everyone's expecting him to win.
Yeah,
and it's like the most insane run ever, right? Yeah. So what do you think the future of Kendama is like in terms of you playing, but then also just in general with tricks and...
It's going to become an Olympic sport.
You think so?
In 20 years.
In 20 years, that's your prediction?
Yeah.
2045?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
You owe me $100.
That's a long time. $100 isn't going to be worth that much.
Inflation's going to rise so much, and it's going to be $500.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do 5,500. Okay. So $100 at this time. Yeah, because that's going to be... I think $100 in 20 years is going to be like a coffee. Yeah. It's going to be really... So you think it's going to... Is that a real prediction? Do you think it's going to grow?
Yeah, I think it's going to grow because looking back 2 or 3 years ago, there was nothing like we see today. You have the Gallaghers investing their time into making the Kendama Premier League and all these things, and they're sort of specialized thing. Now, last decade it was more underground.
Yeah. And it seems like there's people in the community trying to help the community, support the community to make it better. They have training programs, right?
Like we have professional players who are professional in the real sense of the word. In the real sense of the word. I mean, they're investing time into talking things like we're talking right now, and exploring new concepts, new mentalities for how to win a competition and things like that. I mean, it's much more serious than it is.
Yeah, they're investing into... Yeah, exactly. Like, they're like, okay, how do you win a competition, and helping people and giving advice and stuff.
How do you get sponsored and everything.
Yeah. What advice do you have for people who just want to... I mean, I think what you were the best at was just learning, getting really, really good and really consistent. You're a very consistent player. Where does that consistency come from? What'd you do to get that consistency?
So there's 2 things. One, not focusing on consistency.
Okay.
So what that means is that if you can do 12 tap, you can definitely do 8 tap.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to push your limits. It's like weightlifting. If you bench 100 kilos, you can definitely bench 60 kilos for more reps. Yeah, so that's the thing here. If you can do a really hard trick, you can easily do a lighter trick. Meanwhile, if you focus only on the lighter trick to do it a few times in a row, you get basically the same results, but the first person has an advantage over how hard tricks you can lay.
So you're saying that for consistency, there's one strategy of just working on the trick. Let's say I want to get my 3-tap juggle spike down, but if I was going for like a harder trick, 6-tap juggle 6-tap, then
3 taps it's gonna be consistent, you know?
Okay, so you don't necessarily... You would think being consistent is just working on that specific trick, but you're saying you can get consistent by pushing a harder trick and trying a new trick, and then you get consistent on the old ones.
Exactly. And the second thing you must do... I saw some players, after they laced a trick, they always did like a triple whirlwind or something. I didn't do it right now. But they always did some add-ons, and I thought it was really badass, so I should learn it. So every time I did a trick, I forced myself under the pressure because someone or a camera was filming to lace an add-on and lace an even better add-on. And because even my comments, everyone says that, oh my god, there's an add-on or something like that. So if you focus on the add-ons after every trick, you force yourself to make the add-on perfect. You force yourself to never miss a triple whirlwind. I miss it right now.
Yeah, okay, but that's a good point. Like, okay, I hit the trick, and now I have basically one freestyle run. Like, this is my freestyle run.
Exactly. Yeah. So you force yourself, and now because you have the pressure, you will land it most of the times.
Yeah.
And that's how you get even more consistent. And there's a third thing actually. I took many Dama decks, which were not my maximal level, but were story Dama decks or Dama decks from a live stream or something like that.
Yeah.
And I practiced on them too, but the two main things are grinding above your level and doing some add-ons.
What was the third one? Dama decks? What was it?
Dama decks.
Dama decks. Okay. Yeah. So just
Light
get Dama decks from people.
Pretty light Dama decks, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what about playing a lot? Is there a certain amount of time that you should be playing if you want to? Yeah. Do you have like an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day? Should you play all day as much as you can?
So
is there value in breaks? You know, a day break or?
No, nothing like that, because I didn't have video games, so that's why I got so good at Kendama, because my parents wouldn't let me play video games, so I only had Kendama, so I was pretty obsessed with it.
Okay.
And the obsession continued throughout the years.
Yeah.
And I played basically when I had some free time. You know, it was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
The dopamine when you hit a spike is unmatched.
Yeah. So you just have to have strict parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps. And then you just
have to enjoy. You just have
enjoy
to enjoy it. Yeah. I mean, it's not something hard to play Kendama.
No.
I mean, it's not something that requires discipline, because it's too good
It's
not
fun.
to be motivated. You know.
I gotcha. You have to really tap into having fun with it, and instead of just like, oh, I need to get out of bed, I need to go practice, and then you're not going to learn as much, right? Yeah. Who are some players that you like to watch these days? Is there certain players out there that you are big fans of?
Takuya, of course, because I see him tapping. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, let me think. I'm actually watching many Romanian players right now.
Yeah.
Because Blondu. I don't know if you know him,
Blondu,
he last year he couldn't even do a triple camp,
Okay.
and now he does all these things. I mean, that's crazy.
It's fun to watch progress. Yeah.
So I've mostly been watching lately Romanian players, how they progress and so on.
Yeah.
You know, but I've seen some tricks recently. I don't know. I saw that 30 tap from Yasu.
Yeah. 20 tap from Yasu, I think.
20?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still crazy that.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised
Yeah.
because I've seen actually so many people tapping more these days and getting high numbers.
Yeah.
In Ryoka did 30.
Yeah.
I'm confusing. So you see, it's not me versus Takuya.
Yeah, no.
Other people are joining.
Yeah.
You know?
And the American players are getting 14, 16, you know.
Yeah.
What do you think about, I feel like, from the time you started kind of slowing down, focusing more on social and school, Kendama has really grown in the freestyle realm.
I know.
Freestyle back in the day it was a lot of just like going up and doing a certain trick, like doing a triple stilt flip. And recently with Yasu, it's just...
I saw.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
So first of all, I'm not a freestyle player.
Okay.
No, so I'm not creative at all.
Yeah.
I have
specific tricks that you do. Yeah.
That's why I like Open Division and KWC. But freestyle, I mean, how do you do these things on the stage?
Yeah.
You just have to get in the flow. That's why some people recommend drinking before freestyle.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any emotions and you do whatever you want, and that works.
Yeah.
You just don't have to have mental barriers, and that's what Yasu did.
I find that old freestyle was very much like, okay, I'm going to do these 3 tricks in my head. And Yasu, it just seems like he is just going up and having fun, but then still like hitting the most insane tricks. Yeah.
I know.
Really fun to watch,
He turned off... there's a switch in your brain. He turned it off.
He just turned it off. Yeah.
I know.
And just insane. It's been so much fun to watch. Every competition that I go to, it's just like, I'm so excited to watch Yasu on stage. I think most people are like that too.
But in the depth of my heart, I still think about Bonzatron and everything he did around the stall and everything, all that consistency.
Yeah. He really paved the way, you know.
I know.
Yeah, his old freestyle runs were just still so much fun to watch, just his focus.
I know. And the bending of knees and everything.
Yeah, the knees and...
Cinematic.
A really special way of playing Kendama that maybe you don't really see much anymore. It's like kind of trapped in that time frame, of like OG, you know?
Yeah, and so many people nowadays, they don't really use their knees. I mean,
Yeah.
the problem with them is that they're not lacing the tricks they want, because if something goes wrong and the kendama is down there, they don't bend so that they can save the trick, you know, something. And that's special about Yasu too, because he manages to save everything.
Yeah, I know, right? Like he'll just do a tap and it will hit the cup, and then he'll just hit it off and then start juggling.
Yeah, I know.
Like the ability to save tricks is something that really just came about, you know? Like you couldn't imagine someone in 2015 saving a juggle, right? Like I guess even juggling was hard back then. But
because they had short strings.
yeah, okay, that's true, yeah. With longer strings, it's easier. But yeah, it's really special ability that he seems to be paving the way in, you know, in terms of saving tricks. All right, dude, we should get back to the event. That was a really nice interview. Glad to catch up, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to catch up.
So we should have a good day. Yeah, we're just about to go to Coterie, and we have some competitions later, but I'm excited to get to know some Romanian players, you know, talk with you, and